Do you want me to resume as if I'm...
We're live now.
Oh, hi! We're here on YouTube Live. This is our first ever YouTube Live broadcast. And we wanted to check in because now you're just past halfway through our February LiveStrong Plank Challenge for a seriously stronger core. And I've gotten so much great feedback from you guys on our challenge page and on the LiveStrong page that you are just nailing these planks. Some of you also just starting with us a little bit late. So I'm going to go over a few plank variations for you, ranging from modified to more advanced, so that you can find the level of planking that works for you. Let's get started with the classic plank pose. So by now, you're probably pretty familiar with this. The alignment is everything, so we always want to make sure that the shoulders are stacked safely over elbows, over wrists, engagement in the core, and length in the spine. So a couple things we want to avoid. I wanted to go through a few pitfalls, right? Of course, level one, your option is always to have the knees down. You can keep the toes curled or you can come with the toes lifted. Now, the idea is two things that commonly happen. One, when we're playing with plank, is when we get tired, which could be 10-second mark or 30-second mark, we start to let the hips start to sneak up, kind of like a down dog hybrid. We don't want that. We want to keep the shoulders stacked over the wrists and the hips are slightly below the shoulders. Now, the other thing that happens is when we start to release our core because it's tired, we dump into the low back and shoulders like this, and I don't even like to demonstrate that one because it puts pressure on the low back. So you'll be able to feel, right? A solid, strong plank pose should feel no pain in the low back, no pain in the neck, and not even tension in the shoulder tops. Strength and challenge, yes, but you want to be sure you're well aligned because a proper plank on the knees is going to be better for you than a full plank all kinds of out of alignment, okay? So first thing we learn in planking is releasing the ego. Let's go over some fun plank variations. We'll start off again with that classic plank. Some ways to add instability that help us challenge our core are by lifting alternating legs. And what that will do also is give us a little bit of a booty lift, right? So as we're getting our seriously stronger core, we're also working and shaping our seat. Now, if you want to take it another notch from there, you lift the leg and the opposite arm, again, without pulling back or dumping into the low back. So that's always a good challenge, right? You can try it for 10 seconds each side, pulling the belly in, trying the other side. And what you'll feel, of course, is the full girdle of the core. Bring the feet down and breathe. So there's some options I like. Let's go to another variation on plank that I love, one of my favorites, forearm plank. It gives your wrists a rest, so in case you're feeling a little wrist compression, go ahead and roll those out. And we'll come to forearm planks. Same principles, right? But this time, we only have to worry about the shoulders staying over the elbows. Now you can have palms flat. You can turn your hands in. Sometimes people like to make fists with their hands. This is a little more accessible to create that pyramid shape. Just gives us another point of centering right here with the fist. So this would be a little easier modification. And then, of course, the option with the knees down. Now, if you like the dynamic planks again, you can start to shift the hips one side, come through center, and the other side. This is one of my favorite days in the plank challenge because we're getting spinal mobility, right? So that's our internal and external obliques that are responsible for this really nice rotation in the spine. Of course, we can still do those leg lifts. And one other variation that I like to do here is to bend the knees, pull the abs in. Of course, we have abs and booty here, but now you can add a little hamstring lift. So you can try adding these on to your forearm planks or your planks. So if you're getting really advanced and you're looking for extra fanciness, there's some options. Knees down and sit it back. Take a moment to breathe. So even me, after a minute or so in a plank pose, start to feel a little shaky. You want to breathe through that point, connect to the core and really get strong. Side plank, right? This is a great way to tone lats, right? Our latissimus dorsi, our side waist, even outer hips and inner thighs get a great workout. Of course, always the core. So let's go over a few variations of side plank. So my favorite one, modified side plank. If you're a yogi, this pose is called Ardha Vashisthasana. Ardha meaning half, Vashisthasana is the side plank. So you want to feel a nice heart opening, hand to the hip, and of course, a nice strength through the core. So right here from this position, you can do all the variations that we do in our plank challenge, including leg lifting. I know if you've made it this far in the challenge, you've done these before. I love to add some curls, right? Redistributing our core strength. And every time we shift our center of gravity, our core works a little harder, right? So there's some variations. Now, once you feel stronger, or if that feels a little bit too easy, you want to find that sweet spot between what's easy and what's overwhelming, and we call that the challenge zone. Abs in, hand to the hip. Again, you can play with arm lifts, you can play with the leg lifts, you can play with curls here, right? So the key is, check out my shoulder, right? We don't want to collapse down in the shoulder. Never collapse. We're always lifting up out of our position. And if we do that off the mat too, then that's a good recipe for thriving, right? All right, bringing the hand to the hip, bringing the knee down, and coming back down. Now there's also fun variations in plank inside plank, but I want to go over some of the eccentricities of one of my favorite plank variations coming up in our challenging week, and that is fallen triangle plank. So check it out. It starts in a classic plank pose. We lift the leg, we take the knee across the body, so we get that nice transverse work, and then we extend the sole of the foot and bring the back foot down. So this is a level 1 fallen triangle. You can press into the outer edge of that right foot to lift up. Okay, now if you're feeling extra advanced, your abs in, your arm up, and you engage those strong muscles to lift the leg. And I think the advanced option looks like this, right? May not be for you, but it's something to try, because here's the deal. You're at home or you're at work. If you face plant, no big deal. I face plant all of the time, and sometimes even on camera. So the first key to plank is doing your best, releasing your ego, because if we're afraid to fall down, we're not going to get to the next level. So I want to thank you so much for joining in our LiveStrong Plank Challenge. I know it's intense, twice a day. I'd love for you to hashtag LiveStrong Plank Challenge in your photos, in your posts, so that I can check in and get your feedback, because I love to hear how these planks are working for you. I've heard feedback from not just getting super strong in the physical core, but feeling emotionally more centered. Some of you have gotten your coworkers to join you, your kids to join you. I love that, because planking is for everyone. So it's not too late to join the train. If you want to head on over to our Facebook page, you can find the plank challenge, and you can also find it here on YouTube. You have the full video. They launch every Saturday with the planks for the week, and you can go back and find the previous weeks and join us. Thanks so much for tuning in to our first ever YouTube Live, and we'll see you back here on the mat.